Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karinga, an activist, scholar of national and international recognition. An accomplished author and professor of black studies, Dr. Karinga saw the creation of Kwanzaa as a way to reaffirm and reinforce African culture through introducing African values and practices in the form of a holiday. It is in this context that he created Kwanzaa as a way to introduce and reinforce the communitarian African values, the Nguzo Saba, or the seven principles, as Dr. Karinga explains in an interview with us.
The holiday started in 1966. We were building, us organization, my organization that we have built and had for 23 years. We built it in 1965, we founded it. It's a social and cultural change organization that argues that the key crisis and key challenge among black people in this country is the culture crisis and challenge. That is to say that if we ever to rescue and reconstruct our history and humanity, we must rescue and reconstruct our culture. Because culture is a self-defining, self-constructed activity of the human personality. And when I talk about culture, I'm not talking about song and dance. I'm talking about the totality of thought and practice, all the thought and practice by which a people creates itself, celebrates and sustains and develops itself, and introduces itself to history and humanity. And that occurs on at least 7 basic levels in the area of religion or spirituality, history, social organization, economic organization, political organization, creative production, which is your art, music, literature, and finally ethos, this collective psychology that a people achieves as a result of activity and achievement on the other 6 levels. So what we have here is a culture holiday, and we have in 1966 us organization saying it's time we spread more and more African culture. And what better culture to spread than African collective values which give fullness to our humanity and build us into a strong family, strong community, and a strong culture. Those are the 3 fundamental focuses of Kwanzaa: the family, the community, and the culture.
Dr. Karinga, is Kwanzaa a religious holiday also?
No, Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, and that's a good question because a lot of people ask that. It is a cultural holiday. It includes celebrants from all religions. There are celebrants from the Christian faith, from the Muslim faith, from the ancient Egyptian Matin faith, people from the Yoruba faith, people from all different kinds of faith celebrate Kwanzaa. So if it were a religious holiday, some black people would feel left out. But I subconsciously constructed it so that it would take in the community. Remember I said Kwanzaa is focused on the African American family, our community, and our culture.
Why did you feel the need to create a holiday?
Well, we need to celebrate ourselves. It was obvious to me we did not have a non-heroic holiday around which we could all unite and be reaffirmed in our identity and in our culture. See, Kwanzaa plays the function that most holidays play. That is a time for celebration of ourselves. It's a time for reaffirming and reinforcing the bonds between us as a people. And so that there is never enough ways we can reaffirm the bonds between us as a people. Right now, if we talk, we know that we need a greater sense of unity, a greater sense of sisterhood and brotherhood, a greater sense of family. We can never talk too much about building our family, building our community, and building our culture. So the holiday becomes a way to actually build family, build community, and build a culture. That is why, if you look at the values are directed toward the collective of the family, the collective of the community, the collective of culture. You don't see individualistic negative values. You don't see values that cater to the worst materialism, the worst kind of vulgar individualism. You see values that give fullness to the human personality, that uses the African concept of person in community as opposed to isolated individual. In the Western world, there's a strong tendency of individualism. And when I say the Western world, I mean the Western white world. There is a strong tendency to stress the individual, me against the world, number one me. But in African society, there is a collective sense, and John Mbiti in his book on African religion talks about the fundamental principle of collectivity that underlines African society, a communitarian principle that says, I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. And in Keti says, do not say person or individual by oneself, always say person in community, because we have no roots or reality, no meaning or message as a human being without being rooted in a community, and that is a culture community. So the holiday is created to remind us of that, to reinforce the values that go along with that, and to introduce above all the Nguzo Saba, the seven principles. That is why the holiday, one of the reasons the holiday has 7 days, is to reinforce the seven principles. And that's takeoff of the Zulu First Fruit Festival, which has 7 days also.
Wow.